live from the WPAA studios in Wallingford, Connecticut, and streaming live worldwide on the web at WPAA.tv. This is the Open Mike TV show. I'm your host, Michael CUOMO. Welcome along on this Wednesday night, October the 3rd, 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, my special guest joining me tonight, who is sitting to my left, Mr. Michael Buckley, is here. Let's give him a round of applause.
Oh, hello, thank you.
Michael.
Back at WPAA. I know you said WPAA. When I was here, I called it WPAA. I didn't know WPAA, but WPAA sounds. That's what we used to call it. I don't know, but apparently I was wrong.
We can call it WPAA.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be back. I see so many of you in the grocery store, and they're like, "I love your show, but it's not on anymore." But
now it is.
I know. I'm so happy to be here.
Michael Buckley is joining me live, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, we will be here till 9 o'clock, taking your questions, calls, comments, suggestions, whatever is on your mind. Before we get into it, Michael, I want to give you an official Open Mic with Michael CUOMO mug.
I appreciate it. I love gifts. Thank you. Now, I never gave anybody anything, so this is good hosting WPAA show etiquette. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I give that to every guest that comes on. I want to quickly give a shout out, and I know they're watching tonight, to Gray Negative, who was the band on last week. Awesome job, and as promised, Michael Buckley now.
Was it difficult having a band? I mean, we had a live singer like once or twice, and it was a bit challenging.
Well, let's just say it wasn't too difficult on air. It was the off-air thing that was more difficult.
What kind of music were they playing?
They were playing actually a lot of Led Zeppelin.
Oh, cool.
You know, and a couple of their own songs, but they're sophomore kids from Cheshire High.
Oh, how fun. That's awesome.
And I tell you, when they were playing their Zeppelin tunes, I just closed my eyes and I was picturing, you know, Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, and it was awesome.
Awesome, cool. Well, I will not be singing, but, you know.
All right, well,
happy to be here.
Michael, I want to thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
To Open Mic. The phones are already ringing off the hook.
This is my first time here since March of 2008. I wish I had come back sooner, so thank you for inviting me.
I want to mention to all the callers, the number to call in is 203-265-6310. Be sure to tell all your friends and family that right now, no matter where they live, they don't have to be in Wallingford, they don't have to be in Connecticut, you can see the show live at WPAA.tv, which is streaming worldwide.
I will tweet that in a few minutes, yes, and I'll try and get some calls in. We never did calls. I was always very nervous to do calls.
So you can be in Brantford or Bangkok, and you'll still be able to watch Open Mic.
Awesome. That's great. I wish they had. That's awesome. Anybody can watch it. That's awesome.
With that being said, if we can, I'd like to get to our first caller of the night, and then we'll get into some questions. Good evening, caller. You're live on the Open Mic show with special guest Michael Buckley.
Good evening, Mr. CUOMO.
Good evening. This sounds like
I know this voice.
This sounds
Good evening,
like Tom
Michael.
Dacey.
I'd like to say hello. It's great to see you back on WPAA.
Hi, Tom. How are you? How is everything? Tom was such a wonderful supporter. Tom sat, I'd swear, 90% of the episodes of Table for Two, Tom sat there and laughed at every horribly stupid thing I said. So thank you, Tom. Tom gave me a lot of confidence to go off in the world and do what I'm doing. So I'm very grateful, Tom.
Yeah.
We're very proud of you, Michael, and you're making everybody here in Wallingford very proud of you. And I just want to share a story, if I could.
Sure.
Michael's very first production that he worked on at WPAA was an episode of Talking with Tom.
Oh, okay.
Him and his co-host, Christian Baltermitis, walked in off the street and wanted to learn more about WPAA. And at that time, Eddie and I were doing a show. We were getting ready for an episode of Talking with Tom, and Michael graciously stepped in as cameraman that evening.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I did not remember that, but now I completely remember that. Was that during like the Celebrate Wallingford maybe or something? I don't know, but and it's so funny because Kristen, she had this idea for 2 years prior. She's like, we need to go down and do a public access show. And I was like too nervous, didn't know anything about it. And we happened to be walking by, and yeah, we walked in, and you and Ed, and I'll never forget that. And it was always difficult, you know, to find volunteers. And so you were like, do you want to be on the camera? And I was like, sure. So I remember that so well. So thank you for reminding me of that story. And you and Ed were always so nice to Kristen and I. You know, you had been doing your show for a while. So thank you for making us feel welcome and, by really encouraging us to do our own show. That's so crazy. That was definitely 2005. I mean, that was a while ago.
And do you remember the night that you also co-hosted with me, Michael?
I remember that. How's Ad? Please tell him I said hello.
He calls in every week.
Oh, good.
I'm sure he'll be calling in, but I want to wish you all the best, and thanks again for making Wallingford proud. I am sad to say, though, I did miss your appearance yesterday on Better Connecticut.
Oh, that's okay. I was on again today, and you can actually go to the website, betterconnecticut.com, and they've got all of the clips, so you can watch it there. So I appreciate that, Tom. I'm on every Wednesday, so.
Can I just say, after coming on my show, it's going to be Better Wallingford.
Oh, wait. But I told him before I went, I mean, I'm more excited to do this interview. I mean, I've been on national talk shows. I've been on all the national news, Katie Couric, blah, blah, blah. But for me, this means so much more because, honestly, nothing that has come of this, nothing that I've done would have been possible without Wallingford Public Access. And I mean, I thank God every day for this channel and for the opportunities it gave me. Yeah. And I mean, it's a great example of, anything can happen. And if you're watching at home and you think, I'd like to do something like that, by all means, come on down.
Yep.
I'm in my 18th year now, Mike.
Congratulations. I only made it through almost 3. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But keep up the great work, Mr. Cuomo, and we'll see you this weekend at Celebrate Wallingford.
All right, Tommy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom. Great hearing your voice.
Take care, Mike.
Now, that's a great caller. Now, speaking of callers, Michael, I'm going to leave it up to you. You're going to be blowing up the phone line tonight. I just know it. Do you want to get to some of these questions?
Yeah, let's just talk for a while, you and I.
Let's talk you and I and the world, and then we'll get to some calls. I want to first off start by asking you your upbringing. You are a Wallingford native?
I grew up in Wallingford. I lived here my whole life. We lived over on Pine Glen Terrace, which was over by Choate. I went to Rock Hill for elementary school. I went to DAG for middle school. And then I went to Xavier, actually, in Middletown for high school. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I grew up in Wallingford. I always loved it. And so yeah, I'm a Wallingford person. I live in Meriden. I live the next town over. I have a P.O. box in Wallingford to kind of throw people off. So when they write to me from all over the world, I kind of just didn't want them to know what town I lived in. So I kind of said, I have a P.O. box in Wallingford still,
I mean, we won't hold it against you, but Wallingford, Meriden, is there a...
Well, it's funny because growing up in Wallingford, we'd always be like, oh, Meriden, oh, you live in Meriden.
I don't want to go there.
As a grown-up, when it was time to buy a house, I got a lot more bang for my buck in Meriden. And, I love living there. I have a really nice house and a really nice street, and so I enjoy it. But I feel like my heart is in Wallingford. I come to the Stop and Shop here because this is the grocery store I grew up with. So I know Wallingford a little better.
For the record, you did say buck.
Buck?
No pun intended.
When did I say?
For your buck.
More bang for exactly. I know, exactly.
What the buck?
I know, that's how it happened.
All right, now I want to talk, switching gears, I want to talk about Table for Two, which is a cable access show that you started right here, although it was at the old studio.
It was not this nice, was it, Sharon? It was not like this.
But it was at the old studio,
This is glamour. I mean, I swear, I'm going to call Kristen and be like, we need to stop. I'll come down here once a month and do Table for Two because this is this is awesome. Like, it was not like this. I always thought like the ceiling was going to fall on me, and there were always like children walking by screaming like, having pizza. I mean, this is the lap of luxury.
Was it at the old studio?
It was at the,
Center Street?
At Center Street, next to the Wallingford Lamp place. Yeah.
So this is new, but it's technically still where you did your show.
Same station. The people at home wouldn't know. It's same table, same green screen-ish.
And how did you start Table for Two? How did you come up with a name? What made you come off? I mean, as Tom said, you came off the street to volunteer.
So Kristen and I were, great friends. She was a teacher in town with my twin sister Debbie, best friends. And she was just kind of like, we need to be on TV. We need to do something. We had gone down to CPTV and we had become like the people who ask for money during the commercial breaks. And again, that was just kind of an excuse to practice being on television. So we did that like once. And then that probably around the same time we ran into Tom and Ed and we saw what they were doing. And Kristen had been saying for the year prior, we got to do a public access show. It's free for him to just, do whatever you want to do, what you're doing every week. And so finally, in May of 2005, we showed up here, and I swear it was so interesting how it happened. Like, we just showed up, I think it was Catherine or David or somebody there, or Jason maybe at the time, and we told them we wanted to do a show, and they said, sign up for a time, and we're like, okay, how about next Monday at 7 o'clock? And that was that. And then the next Monday, we showed up, and I always tell people this, especially people who want to be successful on YouTube or want to be successful on public access or anything, because they always want to know like a shortcut, or surely there's an easy way, or surely there's a fast track. But I tell you, in May of 2005, I sat down here at this table, and I didn't know if 12 people were watching. I didn't know if 12,000 people were watching, but I took it very seriously. And the Sunday night before I went on the air for the first time, I wrote scripts for 12 hours. I mean, I was just not going to show up here and just like wing it. Like, I took this very seriously. And so, I mean, that was that. We sat down. She came up with the name Table for Two. She thought it was, cute and charming and local, and there's two of us. And at the beginning, we definitely wanted to do a mix of local and celebrity news. I certainly wanted to do more celebrity news because I wanted to be like on E! Or Entertainment Tonight or something like that. But we definitely knew we are in Wallingford. These people are watching Wallingford Public Access. We need to have a local flair. So, I mean, the first couple episodes, it was really funny. We would read the police blotter. We would like name all the criminals in the area. We would it was so funny to us. Like, I don't know if the people at home thought it was funny, but we were just thinking it was so funny. And also, like, I would read like the permits and be like, oh, congratulations to John Smith. He's got a new fence. Again, it was so silly. But we loved it. And the reaction right away was great. I mean, some people in town were like, this is too much. Like, this guy's like mean and weird and whatever. But that's, that's fine. But people were talking about it. I mean, the buzz, when I would go in the grocery store, people were talking about it. The Record Journal covered us immediately. We were on the front page of the Record Journal. So it was great. It was an exciting time, especially that first year. And I didn't know it would lead to anything. We were just having the time of our lives. Every week, an hour long, live. And I swear, being live for an hour, 60 minutes on public access has prepared me for the rest of my life. When I do anything now, I can just talk and talk because I knew we were live and there was going to be no cutaways or no, oh, I need to go to the bathroom, or oh, I flubbed my words. Like, I was in the zone. So this was such great training for me.
Sort of like you are now.
Right, exactly. I know. Blah, 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 blah. I know.
I meant in the zone. I know. I'm in the zone.
I talk too much. You asked me. I'm sorry.
I would never.
It's your show.
No. By all means.
Yeah.
I love hearing you. I want to just ask you. You started in 2005 and you did it for almost 3 years.
Yep, till March of 2008.
What happened in March 2008?
So basically what happened, and this is like kind of my success story on YouTube, that it was so new. YouTube came around in 2005. In the summer of 2006, my cousin Ben Smithwick, who graduated Lyman Hall, his cousin Jane is here. Thank you, Ben and Jane, for changing my life and being a big part of the story. Ben started putting the clips on YouTube, and people started watching them. I did not have high-speed internet. I didn't have a YouTube account. I thought it was strange. I was like, why would he put videos of me on the internet for strangers to see? This is weird. But then in October of that year, I had a video and like 200,000 people watched, and my adrenaline kicked in, and I thought, whoa, this is something. If that many people are watching this. And then in 2007, I started taking that very seriously, and I would come, to WUPA, and I would film WUPA WPAA, segments for the week ahead of time. And so I would do, What the Buck, which was kind of like part of Table for Two, me ranting about celebrities. And then in the summer of 2007, I became a YouTube partner, which was the first time YouTube said, we're going to share revenue and we're going to, give you money for posting videos. And I was thrilled, but it wasn't any money. Like, literally, I would get like a 1 million hit video and make like less than $100. So I'd be like, well, this is nice, and it covers the cost of my tapes and whatever, and it's not a big deal. And then by the end of the year, at the beginning of 2008, they changed the ad format, and suddenly I was making more money. And that's when I knew, I can't use public access to make money. I need to. So I looked at the camera they had, and I went out and I bought like a $2,000 camera. I went to Walmart and I bought like a 60-cent piece of green fabric, and I sat at home and I just started doing What the Buck at home. And me and Kristen did Table for Two for probably 3 months after that, but then I just kind of got busy, and then, I left my job in September of 2008, and I've just been a full-time YouTuber ever since. That's the fast-speeded version.
I'm out of breath and I didn't talk. Let's get to our next caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley. Hello, caller. Going once, going twice. What the buck?
Oh no.
Maybe I didn't hit the button. No, I did. Okay. Very interesting story. Now, Kristen didn't want to do What the Buck with you due to the fact that she had a family and she was busy. Or did you just want to do it solo? I mean, could you have seen you and her doing What the Buck?
I mean, What the Buck was my segment. So, I mean, we worked on segments for Kristen, too, that she would film, but I definitely had more time to do what I was doing. Like, I was definitely I needed to, devote more time. And she has 4 children now, but I swear to God, I hope she's watching this, Kristen, we need to come down here. I mean, we need to do a Table for 2 reunion. I swear, even if we do it once a month, it'd be a blast. But yes, I was definitely having more time to pursue this as something further than she would have, but she tried. We did segments for her and we posted them on YouTube and it was fun.
Just to throw it out there, I am, as my viewers know, looking for a permanent co-host.
Oh my! Well, I don't think it'll be her, but you should definitely get a female. I think a male-female is good. You're very male. You like football. I think you need a woman here to kind of, have a little feminine touch.
And I do want to talk about football in a couple minutes. I usually do a weekly NFL pick.
Okay.
With the point spread. And so far, not to brag, but I have a 3-1 record.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
It means I won 3 games and I lost 1. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a call, 203-265-6310. Oh, no, he's going to tweet his 1 million followers, and that phone line is literally going to blow up. We're here till 9 o'clock. Now, I know people are wondering about the replays and whatnot. You can go on WPAA.tv in addition to watching it now live. It should be on tomorrow or Friday. You go on WPAA.tv. On the top right, there's a link saying Video on Demand. You click on that link, and it'll pull up all of our prior shows, and it'll have tonight's show. It'll actually show, Michael, how many views we're on for that particular episode.
Oh, good.
Very interesting.
I can put a link up after. I don't put a link up now. If I can, I didn't tell people.
No, do it after. I'd rather have you talk and get to this next caller and just have a great show.
Yeah.
Good evening, caller. You're live on the Open Mic TV show with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, pretty good so far. What's your name?
My name is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
Sounds very familiar. I think I know her from somewhere. I just don't know.
Oh, no, it's a ringer. It's a ringer. Get it?
A ringer.
Well, I just thought I would call in and just ask Michael, maybe, because I was curious about this, what's been the coolest thing about, your career and what's become of it, and maybe the biggest perk or the coolest thing you've gotten to do, or just the best part of the whole thing. And what I'll do is, I don't want to clog up the phone lines. I'm sure a million people are calling, so I'll hang up and I'll watch for the answer. But I love you guys both.
Thank
and
you.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Right,
good question. I love. She's like, a million people are gonna call, and nobody calls. I'm like, wah wah. Everything has been so good. I mean, seriously, in the last 5 years or the last few years that I've been doing this, I mean, everything's been good. I mean, I've gotten to go to a lot of award shows. I've gotten to meet a lot of celebrities. I mean, the highlight of it all, though, is just being home full time and, making a living, doing something I love. I'm my own boss. I'm in control of my own content. I mean, that feeling every day is just, that's the best part. And I was telling him at dinner, because people always want to know what celebrities I've met. And I've definitely met a lot of celebrities, but I'm way more into, like, the Broadway people and the figure skaters and the gymnasts. Like, those are the people I grew up, like, knowing. And so like the fact that they know who I am now, like I met like Dorothy Hamill, I was out to dinner with her, I was like hanging out with her twice, and again, the childhood me is like, oh my god, I'm hanging out with Dorothy Hamill and she knows who like What the Buck is. So I meet a lot of skaters and gymnasts and Broadway people who I'm like really into. I'm like really good friends with like Betty Buckley now, spent my whole life growing up listening to Betty Buckley. So yeah, I met Selena Gomez. She was like hugging me like crazy, like, I love your videos. I mean,
nice.
Yeah.
We might have another caller here. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you calling from?
New York.
Oh, hey. Well, thanks for calling.
There you go. Are you watching live on WPAA.tv?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yay.
What do you think?
I just want to know your thoughts on Niall Horan.
What's my thought on what?
I didn't hear
Niall Horan from One Direction.
Well, I'm a big One Direction fan. Do you watch my videos?
Yes.
Oh, man. Is he your favorite?
Yes.
Well, I love him, and I'm actually coming out with a T-shirt, how to say their names. Niall like Miles, Zane like Rain. I love Niall. He's definitely, did you hear me call him Neil the other day?
Yeah.
Did you cringe? Were you horrified?
Yes.
I'm sorry, and I apologize, and but I love him. You know, I'm a huge fan of One Direction, and I've been following them since they were on X Factor, and I mean, how old are you?
Me, I'm 14.
See, that is, when I was 14, like, that's a band, like, I would be all like that. You know, they're great. They're a great band to follow. So I love One Direction, and I love Niall.
Yeah, I'm turning 15 tomorrow, so that's why I'm happy I got to talk to you today.
Well, happy birthday. Thank you for calling. So I hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah.
Tweet me afterwards so I know who you were.
What?
Tweet me afterwards so I see who you were.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right. Thank you for
Bye,
calling.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
See, those are the kids. I mean, the
Yeah.
kids who watch me are very young, and they're always wanting to know, what do I think about Justin Bieber? What do I love that she said, not you. Do you even know who that is? One Direction.
I've been known to go.
That's
in
what
One
makes you
Direction,
beautiful. That song.
but- I know Justin Bieber.
Yeah. These are this is a band from the UK, and they're very popular.
Well, Michael, I think we have another call.
All right.
And let's get to our next caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Oh my gosh, is this really happening right now?
It is happening. Yay! Hey.
Oh my gosh, Michael Buckley, I'm talking to you right now.
Where are you
My name's
calling
Mike.
from? What is your name?
Oh my gosh, my name's Kay. I'm from Texas. I have a twin sister, and she's looking at me, and we're freaking out.
That's awesome. Kay,
Texas?
you're from Texas? I am a twin too. Did you know that?
I did know that. I have a fraternal twin. Her name's Annie. She says hi.
Hi, girl. Hey.
put you on-
Just for the record, we're not twins.
No, we're not twins. Well, thanks for calling all the way from Texas. Do you have a question for me, or do you just want to say hi?
I have a question, and I'm saying hi.
Okay.
What's your favorite color, Michael Buckley?
What's my favorite color? My favorite color is
favorite color?
absolutely 100% blue.
That's my favorite
This is the
color.
most horrible question on the face of the planet, but I didn't think I was actually going to talk to you, so there you go.
Well, no, you weren't ready, but that's always a good question. That's when I always ask people that, and I think it tells a lot about a person. So I think you asked a better question than you think.
Yep.
Thank you. I completely agree.
Yay!
The deepness of my question, Michael Buckley.
Well, thanks for
You have a
calling.
wonderful life, okay? Have
Cool.
a wonderful life.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
The kids, you know.
Texas, that's a
Texas,
first. That
that's
is a
nice.
first,
Well,
yeah.
it's good. It's good exposure for the channel.
That's proof that WPA.TV does stream worldwide.
That's nice. I know the girl from New York, and she's watching, so that's good.
We have another call. I mean,
I just, again, I love the people in Wallingford. Thank you for watching, and you know, I'm sure they'll want to talk about. You know, we can talk about the
see,
live with
whether
Kelly.
you're calling from Wallingford or Waco, Texas, it streams worldwide. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley. Hello, caller. Going once, going twice. All right.
That's okay. We can keep talking.
We
for a
can keep
while.
talking.
Go back to the calls.
Do you want me to still talk a little bit about Table for Two, or do you want me to move on to...
No, we can move on to YouTube
to
or anything
YouTube?
you want to ask about YouTube or how YouTube works or blah 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 or
Well,
anything like that.
yeah, I mean, we kind of got into how you got started with YouTube, what the Buck segment.
Yeah.
We're gonna, go based on your last name. Is that how you came up with what?
Yeah,
the Buck,
I mean, I was
as
just-
opposed to what the duck.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Okay.
going to be like pass the buck, what the buck, something the buck, and it was just kind of a clever whatever. And I think, and I'm sure Sharon remembers, I'm sure like the first couple weeks people were like, what is he saying? He must be swearing.
Right.
You know, make sure you emphasize the B so there's no... And I will say in my whoopa memory, I did swear twice. I definitely swore twice, which for doing a show for 3.5 years
That's
and
not
me,
bad.
I definitely only swore twice, and it was so funny because I felt terrible and like, no, nobody. I'm like, I definitely swore. You know, I think I said the S word because we were laughing about something. We were just always laughing so hard, and that's the thing when you're live. You know, you're laughing and laughing. It's so funny because Kristen used to have a sign and it would say "Watch your step," and if I was ever like inappropriate, she'd be like, "Oh, Michael, watch your step." And by like the second year, she just like was like, "Oh God, you know, what? Oh my God, you know." But I mean, that's the perfect foil for someone like me. I valued her so much. I mean, the straight man. I mean, if you have two people like me who are hyper, cancel each other out crazy, she was hilariously deadpan. And I feel like she was, in a way, the audience's best friend. Like, look
Yeah.
at what I'm sitting next to. Like, this is, so I mean, she would just be like, oh, God. And I mean, that sort of aside to the camera or to the audience was, and I think that really endeared people to me because she was like my best friend and she was okay with me. So I think the people watching at home, if it was just me sitting here being frantic and being what the buck and they'd be like, this is weird. But the fact that I had a best friend, female, sitting next to me, I think that's really was a key component to my success and the people's enjoyment of the show was our relationship.
Do you mind if we get to
No,
another caller?
absolutely.
Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Amber.
Hey, Amber. Hey, where are you calling from?
I'm actually in Wallingford.
Oh, yay!
nice.
Did you watch Table for Two?
I did used to watch Table for Two, actually, and I think I remember you being on a couple different radio stations at one point.
I was on KC 101 for a couple years. I was always on with Michael Mays in the morning. Yep.
So I remember. I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
So, you started here in Wallingford, and now you do the whole YouTube thing, and you're just growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger. So if something ever did pan out, like Live with Kelly, if something like that ever did pan out where you were on TV, would you stop with YouTube?
No, I would never stop with YouTube. To be honest, I mean, YouTube is too lucrative for me to stop. I mean, my value is on the internet. Over the years when I've gotten offered, and it's so strange because people who don't know YouTube or don't really live in this world are very confused by it and don't understand how people make money doing it. But I mean, I can do like a sponsorship deal or like a one-off promo, and I mean, I can make, way more money than I can like when I do TV appearances, they pay me very little money because my value is on the internet. Like my value is being able to drive traffic on the internet and having a large online presence. So it would be very foolish of me to go to TV and then not be on YouTube. I imagine if I went to TV, I would just stay on YouTube and supplement it and promote the TV, but I think it all overlaps now. I mean, when I first started on YouTube, it's kind of like when we were growing up, movie stars didn't want to be on TV, and now all the movie stars are on TV. And then when I started on YouTube, the TV stars didn't want to go near online video. Well, now they're all on YouTube, and Beyonce and Jay-Z and Tom Hanks and Jennifer Garner, they're all in web series. They all have premium YouTube channels. So it's all it's all overlapping now. TV, film, the internet, it's all like one big, when I was up and coming, it was new media, and now it's just all media. So I would definitely never leave YouTube. That would be the biggest mistake ever. So, I mean, I'd like to be on TV someday, but it was weird because, and now I'm just rambling, but I kind of put out to the universe that I didn't want to be on TV a couple years ago because I didn't want to leave my house. I was making so much money at home as a YouTuber, so I didn't really want to do any TV. And now part of doing the Live with Kelly thing and doing Better Connecticut now is just, hey, why not? Like I'm getting older. I just want to have more experiences. I don't want to be so narrow-minded. I definitely, I want to write books. I want to be on TV. I want to just enjoy life to the fullest.
You want to be on Open Mic?
Absolutely. I mean, and again, I was thrilled you asked me to come. I would have come sooner. I'm happy to come down in a couple months if you want me to come back. Just say hi. I love being here.
I don't want to, upset the other guests I've had on, but I've told you over dinner, you are by far the best guest I've had on.
Well, you haven't had me. I could have been terrible. I could have been like.
No. I know.
You never tell anybody they're a good guest before they get here.
I followed you enough to know.
Oh,
that you wouldn't be like that.
no. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I answer your question or did I derail too much?
No, you totally answered my question, and I expected the derailing a little bit.
I know.
That's one of your best qualities,
Thank you.
think.
I'm a good derailer. Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you for calling, Amber.
Hope to see you at Walmart or Stop and Shop when I'm in Wallingford.
That's where I'm going right now.
I'll see you there. I got to stop there on the way home.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right,
That was
ladies and
nice to hear
gentlemen.
from someone from
Yeah,
Wallingford.
absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of people remember me from the radio too. Like it's
Yeah.
weird how my voice is so strange that it is kind of people. I'll be in the line at the grocery store. Were you on KC 101? I'm like, yes, that's my voice. Yeah.
Now, we were just out to dinner before the show, and I didn't see you get recognized per se, but do you get recognized a lot? Is it once you start talking, people are like, wait a minute, I know that voice?
I do get recognized. I mean, I'd say once or twice a week I'll just get recognized casually. Yeah.
Could it be because I took you out to McDonald's, you weren't recognized? I don't know if that happened.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I mean, maybe someone knew who I was.
I tried tricking them, saying we're going to the
No,
Golden
a lot of times
Arches.
people see me and then they'll tweet me, I saw you in Walmart or I saw you at the 99. I'm like, well, you should have said hi.
Right.
So I do get recognized quite a bit.
We're going to get to another caller, Michael, and then I'm going to hopefully get to some more of these questions.
Sure.
Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Good evening, Michael and Michael, respectively.
Ed McCarver.
Oh, hi, Ed. Yay. How are you?
How are
Good,
you, buddy?
Michael. How are you?
It's nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. First of all, let me say, you were great on the whole Kelly Ripa.
Thank you.
And, I watched it. I'm retired now, so...
I was going to ask you, yes, okay.
I have a lot more TV viewing time, and I saw the audition. I saw the guest you were up against, and I remember I said to my wife after the first day, I says, if Michael doesn't get this is fixed.
Oh. Well, thank you, Ed. I appreciate it.
I have to mention, though,
Okay.
I got a little nervous when you had the green screen routine and you were swinging with Kelly, and I think you said get the fish, and you used
I did.
the B word.
I did.
And I remember I cringed a little bit.
I cringed, too.
Yeah, I said they're going to vote him off because of that. And
I was.
Were you
Can I tell
reprimanded
you?
for that?
I was not reprimanded. No, I even said and she loved it afterwards. I'm like, I'm sorry. She goes, no, I loved it. I mean, she's so risque too. So that was the moment it happened. I felt like instantly like cringe. Oh, I can't believe. But in my defense, she kind of started it because she was like, I'm a hooker with a heart of gold. So I mean, she right away she took it to kind of an edgy place. So and again. I don't realize sometimes in comedy, same with like me and Kristen, if one's being edgy, you need to not be edgy. And so she was being edgy, so I should have been horrified. But instead, I went with what I know, which is being raunchy. So again, that I agree with you. That was my, all week I felt like I was on cloud nine nailing it, but that was definitely a misstep.
Yeah, but you nailed it from the beginning. I love the line you said, I'm assuming it was just a throwaway line, when you said my favorite Kardashian is none of them.
Thank you for saying that, because I actually in my brain I had the scripted like blah 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 blah. I'm from Connecticut. I have a husband and 5 dogs. Blah blah blah. And then I realized I had more time, so I threw in like 3 jokes. So yes, that was a throwaway, and it worked out really well. So that I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, to say you nailed it was an understatement.
Thank you.
Very
Thanks,
good.
Ed.
I wanted to say, and I like what you said, and I think it's important when you said about before the first show. That you wrote a script for 12 hours, because I think in this business, and Tommy will back me up, and I know when John and I did Wednesday Night Live, the same thing. The preparation is so important. You have to do your homework, I think.
Right, because I mean, I always tell people I was very lucky. Right place, right time, all that stuff, very lucky. But the bottom line was, too, I was working 50 hours a week at this, not making a dime for 2 years, just doing it 50 hours a week because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what the people at home need to know. It's not like I just, became successful because I was very lucky, but I was also working 50 hours a week trying to become successful.
Right.
And I know my kids, and I have a couple of stepkids, they've seen the What the Buck, and they're funny. They said to me, "Oh, Goober, you actually know him?" I says, "Yeah, Table for Two." So
I know. Believe me, when I'm buried in Wallingford, that's what they're going to say at my funeral. The host of Table for Two at WPAA.
Right.
Well, all right. It was nice talking to you, and you're right. And for Mike CUOMO, this is the best show he's ever had. This is tremendous.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'll come back. Thanks, Ed.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Ed.
good
Hearing your
night.
voice.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Thank you. Great caller. He calls
I love Ed.
each and every week.
I love Ed.
Can I just get to my
Yeah,
quick
please ask
NFL
me. Yeah.
NFL thing?
Do it. It's your show.
Ed's a big Jets
I'll
fan.
relax. I'll relax.
And I just want to quickly state, every week I make my pick. This week I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings. You know who they are?
I do. They're from
giving-
Minnesota and they're Vikings.
They're giving 6 points to the Tennessee Titans. So that's my weekly NFL pick. I'm trying to go 4-1 on the season. What will it win me? Absolutely nothing, except some bragging rights, but that's my pick. Last week I think I took the Cincinnati Bengals, and they won.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Figures, I never put the bets in with the bookies, but,
Hello?
unless when they're
Oh,
not.
someone's here.
My God, we have another caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hi, how are you?
I'm full with Michael Buckley.
Yeah,
Yes,
how are
hello. You're
you?
live on the
Oh
air.
my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, you called, didn't
So
you?
weird.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
Ashley, I'm from Texas.
Hey, Ashley, you're our second caller from
Another
Texas.
Texan.
That's so
Oh my
awesome.
god, this is so weird. I watch you all the time.
Well, I appreciate it. You're calling me at my local public access station where I actually started doing What the Buck, so this is really cool for me, so thank you for
Oh
calling.
my god, this is so weird. I literally just finished watching your Glee recap.
Did you think
So
it was
weird.
funny? Was it good? Did you agree with me?
Yes, I totally agreed.
Tomorrow's episode is going to be so sad because I guess there's like a breakup.
I know. I totally love Bingo, but then
It's going to
don't
happen. We
know.
have to be ready. Can I actually plug something while I'm thinking of it? So anybody at home watching, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern, I watch Glee live, and I use this app called Connect TV. If you follow me on Twitter at Buck Hollywood, I'll tweet the link. But I watch Glee at 9 o'clock, and I lead a discussion. So if you're going to watch Glee tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, all you have to do is link it with your Facebook or your Twitter. It's really easy, and it's free. So I'll tweet the link later, but just kind of heads up. So if you want to watch Glee with me tomorrow, that'd be fun. I'm sorry, what's your question? Plug.
I don't know. Like, I've just been trying to call you, and I can't think of a question.
Oh,
now.
that's okay. Well, it was nice to hear your voice. That's okay. We just want nice of you to call and say hi.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you.
That's the way I am. When I used to call people too, and then by the time I'd get on, I'd be like, I don't really have a question. I called Watch What Happens Live on Bravo, and I pretended I was drunk because I thought it would be funny because they play drinking games. So, they're always like drinking. So I called, I was like, wah, wah, and they loved it. And I had a meeting at their office the next day, and I'm like, that was me. And they were all talking. I'm like, I'm the drunk caller.
Before we get to our next caller, Michael, I was going to ask you, have you ever taken in the Celebrate Wallingford, Taste of Wallingford event?
Only once, I think, with Kristen during our first year of doing Table for Two. We went down with a camera crew and mics, and we interviewed people, and it was funny. So that was it. Not since 2005.
The reason I bring it up this coming weekend is Celebrate Wallingford.
Okay.
Up downtown by the post office.
I
and
loved it. Everybody go out to Celebrate Wallingford.
WPA
Support the
will
local
be there.
businesses. Yeah, you guys have a booth, and
Yep.
that's you again. If you're watching now and you have interest in this, please go to the booth, get more information.
Absolutely.
How many original shows are on WPAA right now?
Well, there's the number one rated show, OpenMike, I think it's called. And, there's Citizen Mike Brudinski.
Everybody is Mike.
There's
That's
a wrestling
hilarious.
show called The Top Rope.
What's it called?
The Top Rope.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. The wrestling show. Okay.
And there might be another one, Timing on Tap.
So 4.
And then there used to be a energy reading with a
Okay.
lady, Michelle, psychic.
Yeah.
So there's probably about 5, right?
We had a lot of people, I remember, they'd come down and they'd do one show and they'd be like, this is more
One and
work than
done,
I need. Yeah, I mean, there
Yeah.
was a lot of people, they'd come in, they'd watch, and they would do one show and they'd be like, I can't do it, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I want to talk, and we kind of alluded to it earlier, the caller did, the Kelly Ripa Morning co-host
Yeah.
contest.
That was fun.
It was great. As Ed said, if you didn't win this, it would have been the biggest, tragic thing since, pick a terrible time in history. And
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian. Actually, speaking of the Kardashians, I brought this up on the show a couple weeks ago. September 11th, which was
Oh, no.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
From what I recall, the mom, which was Kris Jenner,
Yep.
was on NBC
Yes.
on the morning show.
Yes.
During the time that the first plane hit the tower.
Yes.
And rather than NBC taking time to talk about what a tragic event, moment of silence, they had the audacity to talk about her breast implant.
Yes. Which is very important.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Equally tragic.
And as someone told me,
Never forget her breast implant.
a caller called in that night and said NBC stands for Nobody Cares.
I know.
And I'm just going off, but
I appreciate your knowledge of Kardashian history. I covered that. So.
Yeah. The Kelly Ripa Morning Show, when
Yep.
you were on that, you were the winner out of how many total contestants?
Well, 5,000 people, I believe, submitted, and then they narrowed it down to like 25, and then 10, and then 5. So I was, from there. And I mean, I knew by the time it was 25 or so if they were going to let people vote, because I have a large online following, I certainly have an advantage in the voting system. But then, once we got there during the week, every day they wouldn't tell us what the challenge was going to be, or if there was going to be voting. They really wanted to keep us on our toes. It was definitely one of the best weeks of my life from start to finish. Yeah, I loved it.
Were you nervous at all? Did you think that there was a chance, as stupid as it sounds, that you weren't going to win it?
I don't know if I was nervous. It's funny because when you do something of that scale and you're about to be on national TV and you're on this show, I think people want you to be nervous. It's so funny because I think because I'm so frantic and hyper, people always think, oh my God, he's so nervous, he needs to calm down. I'm never really nervous per se. It's almost like being in a school play, and it's like you just kind of make yourself, to get that adrenaline going. I mean, even on Table for Two every week, I would just do that. I wasn't nervous, like, oh, I'm going to mess up, but I would definitely just get a lot of adrenaline going. And it was weird the first 4 days because it was like 60 seconds, and I didn't want to be that over the top and that strange. I really wanted to kind of ease into it, but I knew it was a contest and there were 60 seconds, and I got to say all these things about myself and run off. And I mean, it went well every day. I tried to make sure when I did the show, though, that I showed different sides of myself. I was nervous on the final day, though, when I saw the basketball hoop and the science experiment, because they set up an obstacle course, and I'd been doing so well every day. Bam, bam, bam. I went back to my hotel room like, well, I just did great. I just did great. I feel great about myself. I had so much support. And then on the final, I didn't feel great about the green screen, but it was fine. On the last day, we showed up early, and they were going to let us practice this obstacle course, and I saw the basketball hoop and the science experiment, and I just thought, wow, they've set this up to derail me, and this is where I'm going to lose. And I did, and then the good part, I read The Secret, changed my life. I always think positive. I thought I was going to sink the basketball shot and just be like, yeah, I showed you. Yeah. Couldn't get the basketball shot in. It was just so terrible. But then the last thing was a teleprompter challenge, which I'm really good at that. So then I was kind of like, well, I guess they want me to win because I'm really good at teleprompter.
Well, I want to congratulate you for winning the
Thank
contest.
you.
I want to have a round of applause.
Oh, it was so great. And I mean, the Record Journal covered it every day. I mean, Channel 3 came. I was in the Hartford Courant every day. The Record Journal was interviewing me every day. Like, the local people were so into it and so enthusiastic, and I felt it. Like, I was in my hotel room in New York, and I felt the support. A lot of them from people who watched me on public access in Wallingford and who wanted something like this for me and thought, I knew that guy. I thought he was funny at the time. I'm really happy to see good things happening. I mean, I felt the local support, so thank you.
You were making the news more than George Zimmer.
I know. I was almost embarrassed. I saw it like if I'm on the front page. Like, this is like, but when you're in the local, like, that is fun news. It's fun to cover stuff like that.
We're gonna get to another quick caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley. Hello, caller.
Oh my gosh, Buck, I cannot even tell you how excited I am to be talking to you. I love you so much.
I love you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I thought she was talking to me.
My name is Becca Brocha, and I'm calling from Auburn, Indiana.
Hi, Becca from Indiana. This is so fun. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
Nice. Do you have a question for me?
I do. I've been watching your show for a couple months, and I just love it. You are so funny.
Thank you.
You're like the gay best friend that I've always wanted to have, because I've always wanted to have like a gay guy friend to like go shopping with and talk about my boy problems with, and so like you're like that person.
Well, I'm happy to be that person. I'm happy to be your gay best friend.
Thank you so much. Okay, so my question is, like, who inspires you? Like, who do you wake up in the morning and aspire to be? Like,
That's a great question.
What person do you look up to?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It's so funny because growing up, I was always just really drawn to people who were kind of at the top of their field, and I was always drawn to, like, Olympic athletes or people who were just winning, succeeding. And so it's funny because now it's kind of the same thing. Like, I'm really drawn to people who are just winning and succeeding. I think in the TV industry, I'm really drawn to Ellen right now. I mean, Ellen is kind of the person who, she's so funny, but she also brings such joy to people's lives on every day. Her show is just like this happy dancing joy fest. So I'm really inspired by Ellen. I've always been inspired by Oprah, even though I like to make fun of her because she's Oprah and it's easy to make fun of. But I'm super inspired by Oprah and Ellen and Beyonce. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, Beyonce is just, I saw Beyonce live at Mohegan Sun, and she was just so good at what she does. I was inspired. So, I mean, I'm always every day in life looking for examples of people to be inspired by. But those are some celebrity examples.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yay. Well, thank you for calling, and shout out to Indiana, and tweet me at Buck Hollywood so I know it's you.
Oh my gosh, I definitely will.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And the thing is, these are the kids who, they make my life. Like, when I go to, like, events and meetups and stuff, they're so sweet. I mean, they mail me pictures, they make me presents, they send me things in the mail. I mean, they make my life possible. I mean, that level of, kindness and devotion to me, I'm very, very fortunate.
Well, I appreciate all the calls. We think we have another one. Let's get to our next caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hi.
Oh, yay, it's a boy. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Who's this? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mike, actually. I'm calling from Stamford, Connecticut.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing good.
What's on your mind?
I wanted to ask, what was your reaction as far as, like, when you first got recognized in public? Like, did you do anything, like, funny or anything like that?
That's actually a good question, Mike, and that definitely happened during Table for Two. I used to get recognized a lot in Wallingford and Meriden because I was on the public access channel. I mean, I was definitely a bit of a local celebrity. But the first time I ever got recognized was in Bridgeport because we used to send out Table for Two to like 40 different towns in Connecticut, and I was at the Bridgeport Arena at a show, and some woman screamed at me, "You're Michael Buckley from Table for Two," and I was just like, "Oh my God!" And I pretended to be so cool about it, like I said, I kind of waved to her and said, "Oh hi," whatever. And then when I was walking away with my husband, like I grabbed his arm, I'm like, "Oh my God, that was so awesome!" Like I was so excited.
Yeah,
so, and I mean, every time I get recognized, I'm just thrilled. Like I just love it. I mean, if anybody wants to recognize me and say hi to me, and if they like my videos or they like me on Table for Two, I love it. It's awesome. Especially being on the internet, the people who watch me are often from all over the world, and I just don't meet them very often. So if someone wants to come up to me and say, "Hi, I enjoy your videos," like it always makes my day.
Yeah.
But the first time I definitely freaked out, like, really excited, thought about it for a couple days, called my father,
Any other questions you have for Michael?
Oh, I'm all good.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling.
Thank you for calling.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Good question.
We are in the last quarter of the show.
All right.
It has gone by quickly. I want to ask you, in case people aren't aware, and I wasn't aware of this until my fiance pointed this out, your What the Buck segments on YouTube.
Yeah.
When you first started, and I think this is very clever, and I'm sure you still do it, would you pick a Hollywood gossip story of the week? Whoever, Kardashian, Paris Hilton, whoever was really making the news for that particular week, would you then put that on your YouTube account? So when somebody would then type in Paris Hilton because they wanted information, it would pull up your What the Buck segment.
Always.
Is that how you targeted it?
I mean, especially because it was like a current event show. It was like whatever people were talking about. Like if they were watching American Idol, then the next day I'm going to be talking about American Idol.
Yep.
And to go back to the video that I mentioned before in like October and November of 2006 that got 200,000 views, that was my first attempt to do that. Because before then I was just posting like What the Buck, general, it was just, whatever. I had the night before I had learned that Dreamgirls had leaked online and people were all like watching the movie before it came out in the movie theater. So I made a video about that. And I talked about Dreamgirls, and I talked about how Beyonce was jealous of Jennifer Hudson for getting so much acclaim, or something like that. And it got so many views because everybody was looking for Dreamgirls that day. So again, that was like, oh, I need to be talking about what everybody's looking for that day. So I really definitely try to pay attention to that. So good question.
That's brilliant.
Yep.
Let's get to our next caller. Good evening, caller. Live and open mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hello.
Caller, are you there?
Oh, hi. Is it me?
Yeah, it's you. How are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Edgewell, Massachusetts.
Cool. What's your name?
Massachusetts.
Susan.
Hey, Susan. Hey. Do you have a question? What's going on, girl? You got a question?
I do. This is so exciting.
I know. I should do call-ins more often. This is super fun.
Yeah.
I called the wrong number first, and some guy was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh."
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna have to go with favorite moment from the women's gymnastics at the London Olympics.
This is a great question.
Nice.
You know me so well.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My favorite moment looking back was probably, definitely the girls winning the team competition. Every single moment, stick. And then I was really happy in the event finals when Allie Raceman from Massachusetts won the floor final, because I love Allie and I thought, she had definitely kind of got a little bit screwed in the all-around finishing, tied for third and finishing fourth. So to see her nail that last routine and win by so many tenths of a point, like that was a really exciting moment. So I was really happy for Allie Raceman winning floor. What was your favorite moment from the women's gymnastics?
I have to say, Mustafa on the uneven bars.
I love her too, and I almost said that. She is by far my favorite Russian gymnast. I love her.
I know.
I hope she sticks around for 4 years.
I know.
Cool. Well, thank you. That was a great question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
These callers are making me look bad.
It's so sweet that, again, they know me so well, they know
Yeah.
what to ask about, you know, women's I mean, that's something that I'm very passionate about, so that's cute.
Michael, to date, from the time you've started YouTube till October 3rd, 2012, what is the most views you've had on one particular posting, upload, if you will? Do you recall how many views?
I have 400 million views overall. My biggest hit video is probably 10 to 14 million views. I have a couple. I don't get those views anymore. I mean, those are like old school YouTube, huge hit videos. But it's good. I mean, it's all in the bank. It's in the CUOMO. So, I mean, that's good. But yeah, 10, 14 million, I think.
Do you recall the one story that was the biggest attraction, if you will?
I'm trying to think. I think it was weird. Like, one of them was just something about Justin Bieber. It was definitely about Justin Bieber. I had a couple, the video that I'm most proud of, it got 4 million views. I did a dance collaboration video, so it was no celebrity. It was just me and 200 other YouTubers, and we did a dance, and it got 4 million views. So I'm really proud of that. That's probably my all-time favorite video. And this is embarrassing. I have 10 million views on a video called Two Girls, One Cup, which is an adult film that people were watching back in 2007, and they were making reaction videos to it because they thought it was so disgusting. I, being honestly, as raunchy as I seem, I am a little naive and a little prudish about things sometimes. And I turned on this video, and I turned on my camera, and I made this reaction, and it got it has 11 million views now. And it's funny because for a couple years, people would meet me and they'd be like, "You're that Two Girls, One Cup guy." And I'd be like, "Oh my God." That's my legacy. I have, 400 million views. I've made all these great, fun, comedic videos, but people recognize me as, "You're that Two Girls, One Cup guy." Because if you Google it, I'm the second thing that comes up. It's like Bravo, but embarrassing.
If you don't mind, I just want to ask you, your husband, Michael.
Yes.
Been married now 10 years?
10 years, yes.
How has he been throughout this whole process? Is he supportive of you?
He's
Is he a little jealous?
Not at all jealous. God, no. My husband, my husband is so good looking and wonderful and smart and so many things that I'm not. I don't think he would ever be jealous of me. My husband from day one has been so supportive, and believe me, for the first year I was doing Table for Two, and I was sitting there at the dining room table typing up notes, making cue cards for all these hours, and he did definitely look at me and be like, "What is this? What, for our whole Sunday, this is what you're doing?" Right. And I said to him, I said, "Honey, I love this so much. Give me 2 years. Give me 2 years to just try, to just put everything into this." And I swear to God, I, at that time, thought, nothing's going to come of this. I'm just kind of biding time. I'm just trying to soothe him, because I was literally taking so much attention and time from him to do this. And I said that, and then luckily, a year and a half later, things started happening that I was like, thank God, things started happening.
And he's obviously pround.
Couldn't be prouder. He, when I have trips, I'll be sent to London, I'll be sent to LA, I'll be sent he'll come with me. And yes, he's, couldn't have been prouder and more supportive.
That's great. As we wrap things up here, name some celebrities. I mean, there's probably quite a list that you've met, but just maybe some of your more memorable experiences with celebrities. And are there any celebrities out there that you still haven't met that you just are itching to meet?
I definitely would love to meet Beyonce. I would love to meet Celine Dion. I would love to meet Barbara Streisand. I mean, these are big celebrities. I mean, the celebrities that I tend to meet are celebrities who are on the red carpet and they're very young. They're teeny bopper type celebrities. So to be honest, as much as I enjoy covering them, it's not like I'm going to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to meet you." I don't have a great answer for this other than, I've met Dorothy Hamill and Broadway people, and I've met a lot of celebrities.
Seacrest?
I've not met Ryan Seacrest. No. Ryan knows who I am. He tweets me. He's fully aware. His whole office knows who I am. They're kind of like What the Buck watchers. That's the thing. It's kind of like, I have a pretty high profile online. So, even if I haven't met celebrities, like Miley Cyrus, haven't met her. She knows exactly who I am. She watches my videos. Her friends will message me and be like, "Oh, we were watching your video." Yeah. So, they all know who I am, so, nice. Yeah.
Well, let's get to another caller if we can. Good
I
evening.
need to come up with a better answer, though, because that is a well, who's your favorite celebrity you've ever met? I need to come up with a name and be like, oh, because that is a good
You
question.
can think of it.
No. I'm just like, honestly, because again, I'm more into like personal experiences, so that's why like, out hanging out, having dinner with Dorothy Hamill, that's what I'm like, oh, you're not meeting, I met all the Kardashians in passing, it's not like I care.
I was
like,
gonna say,
it's like, oh, hi.
next time you come on, you can tell us who your favorite celebrity is.
I think so. Beyonce. Always.
And
you.
Yeah, and me. I'd probably on the lower part of that list.
No.
Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with my very special guest, Michael Buckley.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, caller. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Hello?
Anybody here?
It's all right.
That's
She'll
okay.
call back, and I only say she because that's been a majority of the calls tonight.
Yes.
Just a little jealous because I hardly get any women calling. But,
Do you ever get calls? What do people call in to talk to you about? Football?
they usually ask me when the other shows are going to be on.
Oh,
But,
boo.
Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hi, this is Lindsay again. I hate
Hi.
to hog the phone lines, but I just have to say I just Googled Michael Buckley's reaction to the Two Girls, One Cup.
Oh, really?
It's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you. I know when I said peanut butter, I know. Everybody's going to go home and watch it.
Yeah.
I apologize. There's
You have
nothing.
no idea. Honey, I'll show it to you after. It is just the funniest thing I've watched in a long time, and I just had to share it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsay.
All right.
Well, I'm glad it has 11 million views. See, it is funny. It is
huh?
funny. I think, to watch someone like me scream about what's going on. I mean, it is.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of what.
Yeah,
takes place
you don't
and-
need to see it. You
No,
don't need to
no,
see it. You don't need to see
especially
it.
now we just had dinner.
It's I know, it's exactly. But
but,
those are big YouTube hit, and that's the thing. You know what they're all doing now? They do this thing called the cinnamon challenge, where they all take a thing of cinnamon and see if they can swallow it, and then they spit it everywhere, and everyone laughs and thinks it's hilarious. Or they do something called Chubby Bunny, where they put marshmallows in their mouth and they try and say Chubby Bunny. And again, these are silly things that people are doing on YouTube.
Michael, we're going to get to, I believe, will be our last caller of the night. So, good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Hi, I'd like to know if you could spend an hour with a guest of who would you pick, living or dead, who would be your most favorite guest that you could interview for an hour, living or dead?
Lucille Ball.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God, I love Lucy. Like I used to stay home from school, from in the '80s, because I Love Lucy was on 9 to 10, and I would just watch. And now, as a grown up, I have every episode on DVD. I've got Lucy memorabilia all over my office. I don't even have to think about that. I love Lucille Ball. I've read so many autobiographies about her. That was a really good question. Yeah. I love Lucy.
I would probably say John Ritter.
I
Three's
love
Company.
John Ritter. I have every of that on the DVD too. I know he died so young.
Yeah.
And they just got back together. Suzanne Summers and Joyce DeWitt sat down and had a little powwow after all those years on YouTube, which shows the power of YouTube. It wasn't on a network TV show. It was on
YouTube.
Suzanne Summers' YouTube channel.
I lied. This will be our last caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest. Oh, I guess. Sorry.
That's okay.
They hung up.
That's okay.
Just to quickly recap, ladies and gentlemen, the episode that you're watching tonight will be replayed in case you missed it, in case you want to hear yourself live on TV. Go to WPAA.TV, and on the top right, click on Video on Demand, and you will see tonight's episode being replayed. It should be up and running by tomorrow, if not Friday the latest, and it'll show how many views we've had. So, last caller, good evening, caller. You're live on Open Mic with special guest Michael Buckley.
Oh, good evening, Mike. And hello, Michael Buckley.
Hello, how are you?
Good evening, John. How are you?
Good. And I just want to first apologize for my Patriots giving your Buffalo Bills a nice butt kicking.
Oh, it's all right. As I say each and every week, John, even the sun shines up a dog's ass sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a swear.
I'm desperately waiting for my Sam Adams Boston Lager, though.
All right. Any questions for Michael? We're going to wrap things up
I
now.
tell Mike that I do remember his voice from KC101 back in the day, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, John. Appreciate it.
All right.
That is our last caller of the night. We just have about a minute left.
So let's talk about you. What are your hopes and dreams for this show? Where do you see yourself going? What's your game plan?
I'll be honest, Michael, I would love to someday be on a show as their guest and have as many callers as we got tonight for you.
So how are we going to make that happen?
I don't know. I'm hoping
To want it, to see it, to visualize it.
I want every caller tonight to know that someday I'm going to make it big like Michael Buckley, and I'm going to start off maybe on YouTube, send videos out to other stations, and I want to be a white male Oprah someday.
Well, there you go. That's a
I wanna
good thing to
have
put
a
out to the
1-hour
universe.
live talk show with big name guests like yourself, and the list goes on and on.
And so besides John Ritter, who would you like to talk to? Who's alive? Who would be your first dream guest? Katie Couric just had Jessica Simpson. What an awesome first guest.
I actually, growing up, and we only have a minute left, probably Vince McMahon.
I love Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon was the man growing up, and, you know...
I do not like all the mailers that his wife is sending me in the mail.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I do. Every commercial, every day, a piece of mail from Linda McMahon.
Thank you so much for coming on.
It was a great time.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And thank you,
a round of applause for Michael Buckley.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all the callers that called in tonight. We appreciate it, and obviously we couldn't do this without your support. For Michael Buckley, Technical Director Mike in the studio, and our studio audience, I'm your host, Michael Cuomo. I will see you again live next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Good night, everyone.